Christmas is a time for celebration. It's a day when people gather to celebrate with family and cheer. Our homes are filled with joyful sounds, laughter, and excitement when the decorations are put up. However, since their beloved daughter, JonBenet, was savagely killed in their own house in 1996, Christmas hasn't been the same for the Ramsey family of Colorado. Hello, my people. Before we start with the episode today, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and drop a like. In Colorado, there are countless unresolved homicide cases, instances involving long-term missing people, and cases involving unidentifiable remains when at least 3 years have passed since the crime was committed. A list of those instances from before 1970 was compiled by the Colorado Cold Case Task Force. The problem solvers are attempting to draw attention to unsolved crimes in our state. One of the most infamous killings in American history is the one that claimed the life of JonBenet Ramsey. Intruders had broken into a family's home and sanctity while attempting to abduct a small girl, leaving their victim dead in the basement. It caused a sensation and a national tragedy, and teenage internet message boards were inundated with theories and constant news coverage. All was not as it looks though, and over the next 25 years, a completely different image of what had happened would emerge. The perfect family. The second child of Patsy and JonBenet Ramsey was born in 1990. As with practically everything related to the case, Patsy was raised in a strict Methodist home, and her upbringing had been typical of the United States. She completed in her first beauty pageant at the age of 15, majored in journalism, and was a cheerleader. In 1977, she served as Miss West Virginia, and in 1980, she married John. John Ramsey had been in the Navy and had spent 3 years as an officer in the Civil Engineer Corps in the Philippines. Later, he entered the business world with his master's in business administration and electrical engineering degrees. In 1989, his advanced product group merged with 2 other businesses to become Access Graphics, a Lockheed Martin affiliate. The family made a fortune for themselves while residing in a 6,800 square foot Tudor brick estate. In 1996, Access Graphics had revenues of over $1 billion. With Ramsey serving as president and chief executive officer. John, who has a personal net worth of $6.4 million, earned a bonus of about $118,000 at Christmas 1995. Housekeeper Linda Hoffman Pugh later told the Denver Post that Patsy had been really melancholy shortly before Christmas of 1996, suggesting that the year was everything but joyful. Hoffman Pugh surmises that Patsy was having difficulties with her children Burke and JonBenet as Christmas neared. However, the causes of this unpleasant atmosphere have never been clarified. I believe she possesses several personas. She would go from being in an unpleasant mood to become irritable. She and JonBenet would argue over things like her wearing a dress or a friend dropping by. Never before had Patsy seemed so unhappy. Denver Post's Linda Hoffman Pugh, Burke, who was 9 years old and had untreated attention deficit disorder at the time, and JonBenet, who was 6 and anxious for Christmas, were both probably getting tired at that age, which may have contributed to Patsy's anger tantrum. The kids were spoiled in every other way, especially JonBenet. Like her mother, JonBenet was extroverted and enjoyed competing in beauty pageants and being the focus of attention. She was blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and always smiling. Every cliché of the ideal young girl, and had already won several awards. She loves dressing up and other stereotypically female activities, even though many of the pictures from these pageants shows JonBenet appearing extremely adult. They were once viewed as reasonably harmless, even though we could now challenge them as inappropriate sexualization. She would certainly wake up on Christmas morning at the youthful age of 6 with nothing except the innocent delight of all children her age. It's simple to picture the young girl rushing downstairs to unwrap her presents, which likely included a new silver bike. After Santa had been, she would eventually perform it as one of her final acts. The Ramseys would spend their day with Fleet and Priscilla White for a Christmas celebration, along with JonBenet and Burke, and Burke's younger sister, who is 9 years old. As parents, Patsy and John distributed gifts. The eager kids grew wary on the drive home and passed out in the back seat. After getting home, Burke stayed up later to play a game with his father, while JonBenet was put to bed. The last time Patsy or John saw their daughter was reportedly at 10 p.m., right before the parents went to bed. No one woke them up in the night. According to reports, Scott Gibbons, a neighbor, saw the upper kitchen lights in the Ramsey home were on but dim. Another neighbor, Melody Stanton, heard a scream in the area of the house at 2 in the morning. Just a few hours would pass before the Ramsey family experienced the end of the world. Who killed JonBenet Ramsey? On December 26, the family planned to fly to Charlevoix, Michigan for a post-Christmas family holiday, and they woke up early before 6 a.m. Before Patsy went downstairs, the parents went through their morning rituals, getting dressed and taking a shower. She reportedly told the police that she found a ransom letter posted on a step close to the bottom of the rear stairway. Given the numerous better and more noticeable sites that were accessible, it was a strange place to leave the letter. In the 25 years since the murder, the note has become the subject of intense debate. The letter, which is 2.5 pages long and written by hand, claims that JonBenet is safe and undamaged, but asks for $118,000, roughly equal to John's previous Christmas bonus, in exchange for the young girl's safe return. Patsy claimed that this was the moment she realized her daughter had experienced a criminal act. Around 5:45 in the morning, Patsy went back upstairs to check on JonBenet and discovered that she was gone. Despite a caution on the note not to call the police about the kidnapping, Patsy and John do so at 5:52 a.m., even though other sources claim it actually happened 7 minutes earlier. "We have a kidnapping," Patsy excitedly exclaimed as she placed the call. "Hurry, would you? Our daughter is gone, and there is a note left. 6 years old, is she? She is blonde. She is 6 years of age." The Ramseys quickly make more calls, calling their friends Fleet and Priscilla White, and John and Barbara Fernie before they all arrive. The first cops would arrive at the scene at almost exactly 6 a.m. In order to find entryway and a path through which an intruder may have stolen JonBenet, police first investigated the whole home, including the garage and lower levels. No one thought to examine the wine cellar at first, as the police were looking for a way out. However, not long after, Fleet White would conduct a personal investigation of the residence and find a shattered basement window, along with the lights being on and the wine cellar door being open. He was blinded by darkness and was unable to see anything. Police officers at the Ramsey household were criticized for their actions because they failed to secure any rooms outside JonBenet's bedroom, allowing others to have free access to the entire property. Detectives, victims' advocates, friends, and a priest would all show up over the course of the following hours and go through the house. Burke would be awakened and brought to the White's family's residence, while John Ramsey looked through the cellar. Police reports reveal that cops did little to preserve the crime scene's integrity. The police, who thought the incident was a kidnapping, taped up JonBenet's bedroom with yellow and black crime scene tape to protect any potential incriminating materials her kidnapper may have left behind. Strangely though, they didn't shut off the rest of the house, which might have been a crime scene. The police never opened the door. Newsweek, 13th July 1998. The same scene was discovered by John Ramsey, who noted the damaged window in a family bag that appeared to have been relocated while claiming that the window was only partially open. He made plans to pay the ransom listed on the message as he returned upstairs, evidently believing it to be true. Since JonBenet Ramsey's body was discovered, it's been 25 years. Many people believe that her murder is one of the most infamous cold cases. The 6-year-old's body was discovered on December 26, 1996, in the basement of her Boulder home after her family allegedly discovered a ransom note there. Ramsey was strangled to death, according to an autopsy. The Boulder Police Department reported processing more than 1,500 pieces of evidence in connection with the murder of Ramsey as of December 2021. The Boulder Police Department recorded that it was currently researching genetic DNA testing techniques to see whether those may be used to this case moving forward. At that time, according to BPD, around 1,000 DNA samples have been examined. Burke Ramsey, JonBenet's brother, and CBS struck an undisclosed deal in a $750 million lawsuit that was filed in 2019. Burke Ramsey's reputation was damaged. The complaint claimed after a television program implied that he had murdered JonBenet. JonBenet's father, John Ramsey, received a letter from the then Boulder Country District Attorney, Mary Lacey, in 2008, informing him that fresh DNA evidence had exonerated him, his wife, and their child. She expressed her regret for the long period of distrust the Ramseys endured. Boulder police stated in 2008, "We believe that at this time, it is doubtful that there will ever be a prosecution." Patsy, Ramsey's mother, passed away in 2006 from ovarian cancer. With this, we end our video. Let us know your views in the comments section.